Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and today I'm very blessed to have a friend and a brother. I call him so, also a leader in our country. So we are going to have a conversation with him. Before we go into the main discussion, let me give him opportunity to introduce himself to our viewers. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, viewers. My name is Joshua Okayo. I am Kenyan by birth, and I stay in Kenya, Nairobi. Uh, I am a student at the Kenya School of Law, pursuing my postgraduate diploma in law called the Advocates Training Program, and also the president of the Students Governing Council at the Kenya School of Law.
Mhm.
Yes, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be hosted by.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm also very, very, very much thrilled to have you on the show. So much, and we appreciate you for giving us the opportunity to have this conversation with us. I know you've introduced yourself to our viewers. In a nutshell, what kind of family you're coming from? People might not know. You know.
I am very evasive when it comes to family.
Yeah.
No one really knows the kind of family I'm coming from. But I'm coming from a family of, we used to be six, but we lost our last born in 2022. So currently we are five.
Mhm, mhm.
Uh, yes, that is, now we are four gentlemen and one lady.
Okay.
As I am the last born now.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
okay. Maybe it's something that I want to know from you, and I want to know the feeling because, like everybody, know actually what you went through. But I will not go into that specifically. But I want to go aftermath because aftermath, I was following you on your TikTok, and I saw yourself going back to the village. And when you went to the village, there were all this our old mothers. The way they were talking to you, and the old granny was asking you, "When did you come?" Or
Mhm.
and you had a conversation. Then when you left there, you went again and met a group of another our mothers. I call them so, and they all come around and prayed for you. At that moment, what was the feeling from the time you started to speak to the granny and going to those our mothers and just praying for you? How was the feeling?
First of all, I felt very, I don't know, I felt very, very honored and very
Yeah.
humbled that these people are actually waiting for my comeback. They were waiting for me to come back. Once they heard that I was safe and sound, I was all back.
Mhm.
They were like, "When is this our son coming back?"
Yeah.
So when I came home and I was meeting every group of people, they were like, "Oh, welcome back, welcome back. We had this happened and all." I felt so good. I felt that people actually had me in their prayers.
Hmm.
People are actually thinking about me, and when they saw that I came back and I was actually alive and safe, they were like, "We thank God." So I was very honored. Not every day that, or not everyone would be received or embraced the way I was embraced, and that for me is very special. At the same time, I felt that these are people who actually understood what we were fighting for, and the fact that they knew I went through the ordeal that I went through and came out alive, and now they were happy that I was actually, but and they were not sort of fighting me and telling me, why were you going into this, why, I mean, why you, why not other people.
Yeah.
That for me was very special because really they understood that this is a job that had to be done, and I was not any special not to do it, neither was I inferior to other people who are doing it. So I felt honored, I felt respected, and I felt loved.
Okay, thank you so much. And that made you realize that the only place for love is home.
No, but I have very good friends. I have created family of friends everywhere,
Yeah, yeah,
especially in all the groups I've had to interact with, and
yeah.
I think I get to experience love in various platforms.
Yeah.
But ultimately the greatest love is that which comes from home.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. One person is saying, bro, Joshua represented the youths. We are proud of him. Those one of the comments that are coming.
Thank
My brother, you've been in the leadership, and what happened was a part of your role as a leader. If you
you.
look
Yeah.
at a country where we are or where we've come from, where do you think the rain started beating us as a country?
Really, it's very difficult to tell where all this started from, because everything we are fighting against right now stems from greed. And it's not greed that started yesterday. It's not greed that started last year or 2022. It did not start with William Ruto. And I remember a few days ago when I was one of our Bunge la Wananchi sessions, and someone asked me a very interesting question, that why did you not come out during Uhuru's time? Uhuru stole a lot of money from us. Why now? Why Ruto?
Mhm,
I told them the fact that we did not come out at that time during Uhuru's time does not mean that we were happy. Maybe we it was not time yet. And look, because we did not come out during the former president Uhuru's time, that does not mean that we cannot come out during President Ruto's time.
yeah.
When a people feel that change is ripe, then they go for that change no matter the time, no matter when it is. So I think this was the right time. But rain started beating us a long time ago, when our forefathers, or rather our founding fathers, decided to gift themselves parcels of land that were left by the white people.
Mhm,
When the white man went, the white man left power in the hands of a few, and there's this clique of a few people who decided to use that power very recklessly, to the extent that they gave themselves parcels of land. They donated to themselves buildings
yeah.
in Nairobi CBD, in Kisumu, in Mombasa, and many other things. I think if I talk about land, people understand land is a very unique property in everywhere. And so if someone has gifted himself land, and they go
Yes.
ahead to gift themselves part of buildings built in part of parcels of those land, then it means this is someone who has taken almost everything within that region. So that
Yeah.
is where it started. The group that started with our founding fathers. And you can imagine later on, when we had other people coming into power, like with the second president of Kenya, President Moi, who history tells us that could drive from Nairobi to Mombasa, and he could, go dozing at some point, and he says that I'm going to doze this land from this point to the point I will wake up. That is mine. And then, yeah, and then he would select another parcel, and he would say, again, if I sleep, you drive until I wake up. If I wake up, that is someone else's land, and he gifts them like that.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
happened. Now, that happened for 24 good years. I'm talking about now President Moi's time. And then we had President Kibaki's time. You know, during President Kibaki's time, people praised President Kibaki for having been the best of Kenya. I agree.
Yeah.
But again, we have to accept that there are so many vices that happened within that period from 2002 to 2013. Yeah, 2013. And this is where we had the Eurobond. This is the time we had the NIS scandal. This is the time we had, not NIS scandal, I mean NYS
And why?
scandal.
Yes.
Yes, NYS scandal. And this is the time we had, electoral malpractice in 2007, 2008. That has, when Kivitu was the returning, or rather the chairman of the, I think that then it was called Independent Electoral
The
Commission,
commission.
IEC.
Yeah.
And, you know, so many things happened, and it all came from somewhere. People being greedy, people wanting to stick to power and using any means possible to ensure that they bulldoze their way into power, and people thinking that they are much better than the people they serve. When I say people, I mean people in power, people in leadership positions, thinking that they are much better than the people in that they serve, to the extent that they starting buying themselves every expensive thing. so that then you could see a presidential fleet of cars, and you see 50 plus cars, going, a president coming somewhere, there are 50 cars or more. Now we came to 2013. You Everyone is saying how Uhuru was good and all. Uhuru was a very good president. I agree, because he was so sociable and he was a bit warm, but of course very tough in that warmth, because Uhuru is one person who never respected court decisions.
Decisions.
Yes. So really, it started from way back by people wanting to gather all for themselves, all right, and
Yeah.
stick to that. Now, when President Ruto came into power, he decided to continue that kind of the tyranny that we've seen over the years. He continued to, disregard the constitution. He continued to bulldoze his way into parliament, and he's controlling the parliament to the extent that members of parliament, and a few days ago, the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, actually confessed that members of parliament were paid 2 million each to approve the finance bill, rather to vote yes for the finance bill 2024. There are other things, like last year we had the finance bill 2023 was actually taken. We had petitioners in court, and the court this year has declared the finance bill 2023 unconstitutional. At that time, there was an injunction, and there were stay orders from the court, from the High Court, that finance bill should not be implemented until the case is over. Now the case is over this year, and the finance bill has been in implementation since last year July to this year July. That is 1 year, and this finance bill is what brought about the housing levy, or
Yeah.
rather housing levy stemmed from Affordable Housing Act. There's Affordable Housing Act, which birthed the housing levy. People have been taxed the housing levy, which is unconstitutional and has been declared unconstitutional for 1 year. Imagine if someone was being charged 10,000 per month
Okay.
for,
Mm.
and 10,000, talking about any regular Kenyan who's earning about 100,000 or so, 10,000 shillings per month for 12 months, that is 120,000. What do you think one can do with 120,000? It's a lot of money
A lot
for
of money.
for a regular Kenyan, all right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So there are so many other things. The social health insurance fund. We don't even know what was the problem with the NHIF, the
NHIF.
insurance fund. Now that they want to replace that with, because I don't know, someone wants to start everything all at a go, and we have systems and processes that have been working, and yet someone doesn't want to accept these processes have been working, and they only need a bit of boosting, or they only need a bit of perfection. We don't need to start everything from scratch, because starting everything from scratch means someone wants to take control of everything from the very beginning. That is where the problem started.
Okay, but now if you look at what made us to be where we are, which was the finance bill 2020, 2024, 2025, in when you look at and look it at overview, the leaders and even what happened to the protest, do you feel the leaders are understanding what is happening, or do
Yeah,
they understand what the Gen Z were demanding for?
they do. They do. They actually they totally do. They're just um it's called, I don't know the best word to give it, but these are people, they actually know what is happening. They know what we want. They know what the Gen Zs want. They know what Kenyans want. They know what Kenyans fought. But because there's this level of self-importance, they feel like they think the people of Kenya will just speak, and usiku wataenda kulala. There's a song that, there's a song about usiku wanalala. So they really think that the Kenyan people will just make noise during the day, make noise, but at the end of the day, as they're used to, and I mean, people have been raising these things before, and they normally know that at the end of the day they are going to sleep, and we shall be okay, and we shall pass. So they know what is happening. Um, they just want to show the people that really we are more powerful than you are, and there's nothing you can do. Mm.
The reason why I'm asking that, because there were demands that the Gen Z put in place, among them accountability, corruption, um, reduce the number of cabinets. But when you look at what happened, was the cabinet, they did not reduce the number of cabinet. What they brought us a broad-based government, and in return to what the Gen Z were asking. So which means they answered the way they feel would satisfy them, not what was being asked by the Gen Z. So
Absolutely.
so what will be the way forward, especially for the movement?
Thank you. Now that you've actually put it rightly, so that they have answered in a way that will satisfy their goals and will satisfy their needs, or
Mhm,
not really needs, their wants.
mhm,
Mm, there's that level of self-aggrandizement that we've seen, and that is what we are even trying to fight now. The way forward is this:
yeah.
the young people came out and said, enough is enough. The young people came out and said, look, we can take back our power. I can tell you for a fact that that power, ultimately, the people are going to take it back. The
Mhm,
power that belongs to the people. Article 1 of the Constitution of Kenya. All sovereign power belongs to the people and shall be exercised only in accordance with the Constitution. The people may, all right, optional, the
yeah.
people may either exercise their power directly or through their democratically elected representatives. That was the guiding principle. That was the guiding article, Article 1 and 2 of the Constitution of Kenya.
Mhm,
And the people have decided that they're going to take it. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter the problems, the challenges that we go through along the way, because we understand in every revolution, in every movement, there
yeah.
must be there must be challenges here and there. But ultimately, if the people stick, or if the people stick to the goal, if the people keep their eye on the goal, then they will achieve it. Now, here's the thing: what next is the young people are going to continue fighting in every way. We are going to file petitions in courts. We are going to occasionally stage, or not really stage, we are going to occasionally organize demos. All right. We shall still demonstrate. And should anything that we feel uncomfortable about come up, and should the government, through its proxies, push anything that is against the people of Kenya, I am
Mhm,
telling you for a fact, people will come back to the streets. We have not left the streets. We will still come to the streets. We are going to file petitions. Myself, I'm going to file petitions against, number one,
mhm,
um, authorities like the National Police Service, through their representatives, their heads, like the Inspector General, and people who have allowed um, these thugs to actually abduct young innocent Kenyans. We are
mhm,
also going to we are going to take actions against people, corporations like Safaricom, who are enablers of some of these things. These are the enablers of abductions, because these people are actually tracking people through their phones, their phone numbers. All right. We are
yeah.
going to anyone who was either through Safaricom line or Airtel line. We are going to sue those corporations, either that cooperated or that enabled certain illegal actions to be done against the people of Kenya. Another thing is, we are going to embark on a very serious, and we have started this. Actually, myself, I have started this, but we are going to get many more people who are going to join hands together. I've had very many friends of mine, Morara Kebaso, the likes of Masi Tarus, the likes of, all those people who have joined hands in what I started. I'm the one who started civic education in buses.
Yeah.
We are going to do very thorough civic education all over Kenya,
Mhm,
and tell the people of Kenya that, look, you have a government that does not care, and we will tell them why. We will point out the projects that the government had promised to do, and they have not done, they have not completed. We will point out the the bills that are in Parliament, obnoxious bills, very, very insensitive bills that should not pass. We will also point out the acts of parliament that were passed against the people's wishes, the acts of parliament that were rushed in parliament, despite those people not having taken public, or rather undertaken public participation. We are going to document every negative thing that this government is doing, because I mean, at the end of the day, they are doing more negative than good, than positive. After that documentation, we will run across the country, tell the people what is happening, let them know. And when the people feel that it is really time that everyone is going to come out, and we are looking at about 50 million Kenyans coming out, then people will come out and say enough is enough. Should that not happen by 2027, then 2027 is the time. We are also going to mobilize young people to register as voters. Anyone who, even those who are in high schools and who are going to complete high school in the next year or two, we will mobilize them to come forward, register as voters, and 2027 we get all these people in power out of power, and get people that we want to be there and to serve us.
Okay, thank you so much. And that one bring me to one of the questions that many people have been asking about the leadership, and so many people are concerned because, first of all, it was about we are leaderless, we are tribeless, and people are asking, what about the issue of the leadership? So, as you do the civic education and telling people to register as voters, are you going to be the face of the leadership, or that one is still going to be concealed?
We don't have to have one leader, really. we
Yeah,
are not we are here for we are not here for praises. We are not here for people to look and see, nah, that is the leader.
yeah,
We are here to bring a system that works. We are here to bring governance structure that works. And if that calls for not having leadership, then we shall not have leadership as well. We shall be there. Some of us, we've been at the forefront. That doesn't mean we are the leaders, but because everyone cannot be the same. The same power I push with cannot be the same power that someone else pushes with, and cannot be the same power that you push with.
yeah.
So whoever is doing whatever, that is what they are strongest at. So let them just do it. That does not mean they are the leader of the movement. Just that from the movement, or rather from the members of the movement, we have faces who've been very vocally out there and who've been sort of outstanding out there. We accept that. But that is not really to mean that they are the leaders of the movement. Of course, the movement will have to have structures. That we agree, and I agree. And
Mhm.
we are going to lay those structures very soon enough. But that will not mean we have a one person, one almighty person heading a movement, or one almighty person being the leader of the movement. We are gonna have people, um, we are going to delegate roles to people, various people, depending on someone's strengths and what they do and their background. That will not mean they are the leaders. Everyone is leading from various sections. We have people who are designing our posters. We have people who are going making statements go out there. We have people who are on the ground. We have people who have huge followings on socials. We have people who are good at interviews like these ones. And everyone will do their part. At the
Okay.
end of the day, we shall have a structure of how to do things, but that won't mean that those are the leaders.
Okay. If you look at the political space right now, because it it is understood well, or it is now known that the movement that took place by Gen Z um, shook the world, and it came as a shocker, and especially to the political class, whereby you see that they are coming together, yeah, at the expense of even ignoring some of the core of what the law requires them to do, because they are watching all the things that you've said that you're going to do. They are also watching, and they will rebut to them. So how are you also prepared to match that, the political status quo, and what you are doing?
Let me tell you, Ben,
Yeah.
are people that have decided are stronger than the people in power.
Mm.
The people's power is stronger than the people in power. One thing I know is that Kenyans believe in the movement. A majority of Kenyans felt very good when they realized that there are people actually who can come forward and fight for us. And the moment we start doing whatever I've told you, these people will all be backing us. And I am sure these people will actually come forward and say we are even willing to contribute 100 shillings each, or 1,000 shillings, to support this movement. The only way that these politicians can, think, I mean, I don't think they can, but the only way they think they fighters is because they have muscle, I mean, financial muscles. Let me tell you, people are going to come out to support the movement. And that is when the government will know that people actually can get money. They, they just need to be given a cause to believe in. People just need to be told a reason to contribute money. And this is a reason to contribute money. When it comes to security, these same people of Kenya will be our security. So it's two things. It's either money or security. It's money and security. The people of Kenya will contribute to support our movement. Number two, they will be our own security, and they will not allow anyone to be bullied anywhere. They will not allow any member of the movement to be bullied anywhere whatsoever. That I'm very sure. So these people, in a short while, they will feel the heat and they'll be like, anyway, we need to listen to these people. Anyway, we need to strike a deal with these people, and we need to actually now start implementing what they are saying. In no time, they will start realizing that really the landscape has changed. So the political landscape is changing. I know the power that they yield because they have stolen our money, and of course they have every institution within their arms they can use, but that is not going to scare us because that will only happen for a few moments, for a very for a very few days, and then afterwards they will realize the true power that the people of Kenya has.
Thank you so much. And if you look at the history, each and every time Kenyans go for protest, not even the one that's this one, from let's say from 2007 when Kenya went to protest. What happened? There was that leadership that came and okay, let's have dialogue. It came to 2018, then it came to the handshake that year 2018. Then now also we are seeing broad-based government. But what usually happens, there are people who usually on the forefront, especially the protesters, who usually meet the wrath of the police, brutality, the wrath of police, excessive force, abduction, like what you went through. But at the end of the day, those cases are usually not solved, or we don't even see compensation of such. And now you're also seeing that they're calling for those dialogues so that we can visit the bombers draft to talk about it, because they feel that there's something that is ailing us without talking about the victims. And it has always happened like that. So as somebody in the legal framework, or as somebody who is a leader, what is the way forward for such like cases? How can they be solved?
Thank you. That's why I said I think there's a point I mentioned that we, number one, the first thing when you ask me about way forward is the first thing we're going to ensure accountability, and especially I told you we are going to sue the National Police Service through their leaders, the Inspector General of Police, and everyone within that category.
Okay.
That we are going to petition because we know we have lives that have been lost, and this is not the first time. And we have people who've been maimed. Some people are permanently maimed, and they'll probably never walk, or they never handle things as they've done before. So we are first of all going to ensure legally these people are legally liable, and that liability must come with compensation, and that liability must come with sentencing. Uh, I know it is going to be it's an uphill task because these are government these are government against, you're trying to sort of have a government against a government. Even if they are not criminally held liable and sentenced, then they must compensate. They must compensate. And there are mass petitions, mass actions against the government, against the Inspector General of Police, coming forth in about a month or two,
Yeah.
or anytime soon. You will see such cases. So number one, we want those cases be solved in court. Because look, Ben, the only option we have right now, as a people, we cannot go around killing the police who kill the people. At the same time, we cannot go around killing the leadership of the country. But what we have faith in and what we believe is that justice shall ultimately prevail. And that is why we are taking the court route. We know that we have three arms of government. And the only arm that is the custodian of justice is the judiciary. So we are going to ensure that these cases are actually in court. But once they are in court, then it behooves the people in the judiciary to do justice. It's actually in the hands of judges and magistrates. It's not in us. We shall be doing our best. At the same time, justice also is ensuring that the people that we lost are not forgotten. And that's why we have people who have actually done songs. The other day we had a Twitter space, and there is this guy, I've forgotten his name, actually did a very good song for the for our soldiers that we lost along the way. We have their names, written in our magazines and newspapers, and every time, um, every time we are organizing something, we have to sing an anthem as we honor, all right, these fallen soldiers. So really, there's only so much we can do. It's not in our hands to be able to bring back justice fully, but the little we shall achieve is something worthy.
Okay. You talked about going to the buses, and I've seen you even attending Bunge la Wananchi. I saw you in the bus. Also, I saw you. Um, do you also advise other comrades, especially to vie for these political seats, because so that when some of the legislation will be made, they will be there to put their inputs? Because if they're not there, it means the status quo will still rule.
By all means, by all
Yeah,
means.
yeah,
If any, if any of the comrades who are in this fight right now
yeah.
feel that really they they are ripe enough for a political seat, and they are motivated to come and to be leaders in whichever capacity, I strongly advise them to go for it. I strongly advise any comrade who feels and thinks that they can actually match they can match the political heat that campaigns come with. I strongly advise them to go for these positions, because whatever we are fighting is not just in the presidency. Whatever we are fighting is even in the parliament. That is where all this began, when we had people in parliament who never think for themselves, and whom are being advised from the state house to vote for finance bill. So really, if we can get people who are independent minded, make decisions for themselves, and who can think and feel what the people of Kenya want, and implement that as such, then we better have those people. And I believe those people are very many in the movement. Those people are very many in the Gen Z movement. I want to encourage my comrades to go for these positions. Let no one tell you at oh, you are fighting just because you wanted a political seat. No,
Yeah.
we were fighting a bad governance, and we have seen they cannot change. And now the solution is, let ourselves be the leaders. Because at the end of the day, we must have a government, Ben. We must have parliament, we must have the judiciary, and we must have the executive. Now, if you don't want to form this parliament, if you don't want to form the executive, if you don't want to, where do you think the change will come from? We have to be the change we want to see. And that means we also have, lazima tujitose kwenye kinyang'anyiro, my brother.
Yeah, that's true. Kwa sababu vijana wasipoingia katika hizo kinyang'anyiro, inamaanisha kuwa hawatakuwa na sauti. Sauti iwezi kuwa tu ya kupiga kura, lakini sauti pia lazima isikike wakiwa katika bunge, county assembly na palipopote. Ndugu yangu, kwa sababu najua muda yako wewe, kuna kazi ambayo utafanya kesho, labda mambo ya mwisho ambao unaweza shauri wale ambao wanatutazama, na pia mavijana ambao wako katika hii mwendo wa kupigania uhuru wa Kenya.
Thank you very much, my brother Ben. First thing, to those who are viewing us, really, um, we have fought a good fight. It is not ending anytime soon, and we are not ready to let it go. We are not ready to let the deaths of our fellows go in vain, and we are not ready to just forget about them. At the same time, there's something we started, and we have to finish that thing. What we started is to fight bad governance, fight corruption, fight manifest disregard of the constitution and the rule of law. Really, we have to continue to fearlessly guard our laws. We have to continue fearlessly supporting good governance and fighting bad governance. And it is time that we show the people and the world over that really people's power is stronger than the people in power. It is time also to support the Gen Z movement. Let us bring everyone in. Let every voice of Kenyan be heard. And should any politician pay you money to attend their rallies, it's not in order. It's not in order. And if you feel that you really have to take that money, just take it. But at the back of your mind, know the right thing. Because again, that money is yours. They have stolen it from you. So they are bringing it back to you. It is not a favor they are doing for you. So take the money if you really need it. Attend, but don't be so excited to approve their point. Finally, to those and my fellow comrades who are fighting, who are part of this fight, it is not over yet. We are doing the right thing. Let no one tell you that it is over. Let no one tell you that you need to relax. Let no one tell you that you are too young. Our forefathers and our fathers took over power when they were young, and they disregarded other opinions from old people who felt they were wiser. It is time for you and I to take up this chance. It is time for you and I to take the baton, because really no one is ever given. Let us go forth. We are fighting a just cause. And always, when the cause is just, conquer we must.
Okay, thank you so much, my brother, the president, for taking your time to be here. I know it was a short notice and you avail yourself. We really, really appreciate as a channel, and we wish you all the best in everything that you're doing in your exams. And I know, God willing, one time we'll meet and talk more. Thank you so much for giving us your time. To our viewers also, thank you so much for staying with us through the show, and may God bless you, and may God bless you big time. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you so much, Ben. Have a great night. I don't know whether it's night in the US, but have a good night. Be blessed. God bless.
Thank you so much.
Support us.